My brother mocked me for being adopted until Grandpa forgot every name but mine. I was adopted at 7, and my older brother Theo made sure I never forgot it. Every disagreement ended the same way. You're lucky they took you in. You're not really one of us. He said it so often that some part of me started believing it. Our parents loved me. I knew that much. But Theo had a way of making the word family feel like a club with a waitlist I'd never clear. The one person who never made me feel like a guest was Grandpa. He was my dad's father, came over from a small village in northern Greece at 22. His English stayed rough his whole life, 50 years in this country, and he still slipped into Greek whenever he got tired or excited. Most of the family had stopped really listening to him years before I arrived. Theo barely glanced up from his phone whenever Grandpa started talking. But when I was 9, Grandpa pulled me onto the back steps one evening, pointed up at the sky, and said a word in Greek. I repeated it back wrong, and he laughed so hard he started coughing. That was the first lesson, though I didn't understand it as one at the time. For years, it stayed something just between us. While everyone else tuned him out after dinner, I'd sit with him on the porch, and he'd teach me words for the sea, fragments of songs from his village's summer festival, prayers his mother used to say before meals. I bought a notebook and kept it hidden in my desk drawer. I practiced sounds quietly in the shower, on the walk to school, until they started feeling like they belonged to me. Grandpa started calling me his little fisherman, said I had the patience of someone who knows how to wait for the right moment. Theo, meanwhile, built his whole personality around being the real grandchild. He'd post old photographs of Grandpa's fishing boat with long captions about heritage and roots, despite never learning a single word of the language himself. One afternoon, he caught me practicing in the backyard and laughed. Why bother? You're not even actually related to him. You're just borrowing someone else's family. He said it loud enough for our cousins to hear, then walked off laughing. That same night at dinner, he talked at length about how connected he felt to that side of the family, while Grandpa sat 3 feet away, quietly struggling to follow a conversation in a language that was never fully his own. Then last spring, Grandpa had a stroke. When he came home from the hospital, something fundamental had shifted. His English disappeared almost entirely. He'd look around at everyone with this lost, frightened expression, like he'd woken up surrounded by strangers in an unfamiliar place. He stopped responding to most names. He'd grip his armchair and repeat one phrase over and over. Nobody else in the family understood what it meant. The doctors called it confusion related to the stroke. Theo called it sad and went back to his phone. They still planned Grandpa's 80th birthday that month. Half a celebration, half a quiet goodbye, nobody said out loud. Everyone seemed privately convinced he wouldn't really register they were there. The day arrived. Nearly 30 relatives crowded into the living room. Grandpa sat in his chair, eyes distant, flinching slightly whenever someone leaned in too close or spoke too loudly. Theo knelt in front of him, holding the cake, repeating his name. Grandpa, it's me. It's Theo, your grandson. Nothing. Grandpa looked straight through him like he wasn't there. Theo stood up, embarrassed, mumbling that he was probably too far gone now to understand anything. The room went quiet and heavy. That's when I walked over, knelt where Theo had been, and said it softly in Greek. I'm here, Grandpa. His eyes snapped to mine immediately. The fog seemed to lift for just a moment. Saraki, he whispered, and his whole face opened into the smile I hadn't seen in months. I answered him back in Greek, told him about the sea, the festival song, the steps where we used to sit together. He grabbed my hand and wouldn't let go, words spilling out fast after weeks of near silence. The whole room watched. My dad started crying quietly. What's he saying? He asked. I translated. He's been asking where his little fisherman went. He thought everyone had left him alone in here. Then Grandpa looked slowly around the room at every face, then back at me, and said one more thing, slow and deliberate, making sure I'd get every word right. I felt my throat tighten as I turned to the family and repeated it. He says, blood gave him a family, but I'm the one who stayed to learn it. Nobody moved for a long time.